Hello everybody, we're back. Tonight we're going to do something a little different. We're going to do quiches, which I've talked about a little bit off and on. Now, I'm not a master at quiches. This is not something, again, where we're talking about chefs or restaurant quality stuff. I use recipes just like anybody else. So I pulled two that we're going to do tonight from a website called Eating Well. And it is the broccoli and cheddar quiche. Of course, we're going to add to it to make it our own, and also the spinach and mushroom quiche. Yeah. So we're gonna put both those in. I will put the recipes down in the comments underneath once we get this posted up. So with that, we're going to go ahead and get started. And I have a lovely assistant, Miss Misty Mountain 1967 will be helping tonight because there's just a little bit more to do to keep track of everything. So I'm going to start out, both the recipes call for onion, but I'm going to start out cutting up the veggies here while she works on the bacon, because we're going to add, you can't have broccoli and cheddar without having bacon. I'm sorry. You know how that works. Bacon makes everything taste better. And that's just the way it works up here. So I gotta start cutting the broccoli. We're gonna cut these into little pieces from what you've seen when I've done other stuff and had other photos up of broccoli. This is gonna be relatively small pieces compared to that because in the quiche it goes better when it's smaller and not big bite-sized pieces. So, like I said, we do this. Anybody can post up. Oh, hello there. Do I know you well enough for that? Really? So, like I said, anybody can post up a recipe and whatnot. What I like to do is make sure we show you guys all about making it so that you see it's not all that difficult. This one has a lot of prep work to it. So again, it's going to be one of those ones that you want to do on the weekend. One of the cool things is you can do this one in advance and freeze it and then pop it into the microwave for about 35-40 minutes to heat it all the way through for dinner. So if you do like to do a lot of cooking, ooh, got myself there. Ooh, got myself again. If you like to do a lot of cooking on the weekend and not so much during the week, and hey, I understand that because I get a little bit of driving to do myself. And now the other thing I'm going to do, remember I told you for the shepherd pot pie, we used the last of the cherry tomatoes from our garden. Well, we've got almost all the last tomatoes. There's a couple of them that just aren't quite ready yet, and I'm sorry, as adventurous as I am, I'm not adventurous enough to do green tomatoes in the quiche. So just can't bring myself to do that. So what we got here is some of the ripe ones. We're going to cut those up and add those in as well. Because I'm telling you, there's nothing as nummy as homegrown tomatoes. Chef privilege. Alright, so the other thing we're going to do is cut up one of the onions here. And Misty's already taken, I'm using two smaller cans of mushrooms on this one. And Misty's taken them and set them up to drain out already. So we got those out of the way and prepping up. And we're going to do these side by side so you can see it's not all that difficult to do. Get the onion to peel a little. There we go. This is going to turn out to be like the ogre. Got layers and makes you cry. Here, and dice it up like I showed you before. Whoop. A little thick on that. Cut it into little pieces. Everybody say hi to Misty.
Hello.
This is, if y'all ever get the chance, and this is one of the coolest damn things. You know, I often talk about how lucky and blessed I am. One of the things that I really got lucky and blessed with is Misty and I, from the get-go, could work in the kitchen together, and it's such a delight to get in here and cook with the both of us. Wait till y'all see, because you will get treated this year to not one, but 2 Thanksgivings, and you really kind of get to see how we get going when it gets crazy busy in a Thanksgiving kitchen. But even when it's crazy busy like that, we still manage to work together. It's one of the best things about the 2 of us. Don't show is the fact that we can both work together, not get underfoot, not get in each other's way. Now, I will say this, I am a little bit of a klutz when it comes to Misty and her baking, because I'm just not as good at baking in any way, shape, or form as she is. Probably should have done the tomatoes before I did the onions. Yeah. Shoot me.
Doesn't matter.
This is going to be so good. The spaghetti sauce, when we put that last batch of the baked tomatoes in with it, oh my God, that stuff turned out great. Love fresh tomatoes. See, one of the easier things is you don't have a, now Misty has a tomato knife. I don't mess with it because I don't want to mess it up. So, but when you don't have a tomato knife, just get a real sharp knife, and instead of trying to cut through the outer casing, once you get it sectioned off like this, turn it sideways and cut through. Alright, so cut up this last onion and set that aside in this other dish. But before I do that, remember I said one of these was a spinach and mushroom quiche. Well, you know, you cannot do spinach and mushroom without the spinach. So, this is real simple. Grab a handful of spinach. See if Motor Mouth pops over here and chops up on it. You want spinach? Here, go try that. Okay. Yeah. So this is going to be the basic fixings for the one, along with the cheese and the bacon. So this one's going to be, think of it as your loaded deep dish pizza. This other one's going to be more of an artesian version, and will be more of a vegetarian type thing. So just chop up. So, especially.
I'm gonna make you spinach dip.
Uh-oh. Y'all hear that? Misty said she's gonna make spinach dip. So, now is that using this stuff, or are you gonna wait till we go get some more?
Later on.
Okay. All this, and yes, that's a lot of spinach. You are correct. But keep in mind, spinach, when it cooks, it kind of slims down and reduces. So what may look like a ton right now, by the time when it gets done, ain't going to be all that much. So this one is going to be a little bit different. Instead of cutting chunks like that, we're going to cut this into little slivers. So when we go and separate this, it's going to separate into longer, I don't say spaghetti-like pieces, but instead of being little chunks, it's going to separate out into something a little different with a slightly different texture and consistency than what we've had with the other ones we've done. So I'll toss all that in there. Because the recipe does call for onion on both of them. So, lest you think I am losing my mind, which I have been accused of, we will jump on that as soon as I get done with this. I'm going to shut down for a minute so I can pull the veggies aside and reset up for doing the filling. And we're going to do these one at a time because you have to actually mix the egg and the cream with the ingredients themselves. So we're actually going to do two different ones together. So last thing, since you can see this, you take a couple of handfuls of cheddar, shredded cheddar, and drop down in here. And that is roughly 3/4 of a cup. And that will sit there until we add the egg and the cream and mix it all up and then pour it into the container, the pie filling, or the pie crust. So as soon as we get all that set, we'll come back, we'll show you mixing up the eggs and the cream and everything. And that one you do have to kind of measure out a little bit more carefully. Once we have that done, we'll put everything in, get the stove set up, and pop them in the oven and show you how they go. All right, we're back. And as I said, I'm going to show you combining everything here. The recipe calls for half and half. I don't have any half and half at the house. I could probably use whipping cream, but I think what we're going to do is we're going to try and add a little sweet to it. We're going to use sweetened condensed milk in place of the cream for tonight. Just to do something a little different. So we're going to pop the can on this puppy and set up here. And first things first, for this one, we're going to do them as two separates too, by the way, because they call for different sets of ingredients. So we're going to go, ooh, that's really thick.
Maybe only use.
Yeah, I'll put a touch of this in. And then I think we're going to go ahead and go to the heavy whipping cream for the rest of it. That'll give it a little sweet flavor. So. Pop a little whipping cream in here. Again, this is kind of like what we did with the shepherd's pie. Kind of added things around. There we go. And we get the milk. If you'll please, darlings. Do a little splash of the milk. There we go. And now to this, we put in 6 eggs. Just pour it right on in. Country. Yeah, I think you're okay. Country gets to play with that toy here.
Milk is on the bottom.
Mix it all together without splattering all over. There we go.
Can I show you a tip? I'm going to show him a tip, guys.
There you go, life tip, life hack.
As you're doing it, lift it up.
Alright, that works too. So, no, that's got to go somewhere else. Love you, baby, but that don't work there. All right, so now we dump everything in here.
Let me know I'm washing this while you're...
And we're going to wash up the... Oh, man. Excuse me. Washing up the heater bars while we do this. So I'm going to go in here and mix all this up. Go. Yeah, got a little too much on the ingredients. That's all right. We will survive. Hey, hey. All right, let's get one of those pie crusts over here. And here's the hard part. You ready? Ooh, Take a dump. Everything in. Great, hearty, yummy. Everything deep dish pizza. Quiche. Yeah, quiche. That's it. Kind of looks like a deep dish pizza. Everything does, doesn't it? As you can see, once you tamp it all down there, last of the egg and milk. That gets that one set. So we'll set that aside. Oh, I'll take and put this one over here. Now, while we're doing this, set the oven for turn on, set it bake, and because the probe on our stove is off by just a hair, we'll pump it up to 410. And we'll take this very carefully. I got it. You got it, okay. Mama doesn't trust Daddy. Take 6 eggs. And that's going to be the last of the eggs.
Okay, and how much milk?
Give me a half cup. These and thank you. Look at that. It ducked out the end. Oh. There we go. There we go.
Only one's just a half a cup of milk.
Yeah, well, we're going to add a little. Uh-oh, see? This is what I was telling you. So make sure you don't get... Alright, I need a fork, please.
It's not easy.
I'll try a spoon. Be careful when you get little pieces of eggshell down in there. Like I said, don't want anybody picking up a crunchy. So, there's my fingers here.
So milk's done?
Yeah. Little drizzle of condensed milk. Whoop. And set that off to the side. Take the whipping cream, please. Pour milk in. A little splash of whipping cream. There we go. And you can have that. And I'll take this. And we'll do this again.
You need to put salt and pepper or anything in it.
I'll put it on top. We are all done with that. And dump mushroom, onion, and spinach into there. Harley, I love you, but you are in the way, sweetheart. Now, grab up another spoon here. Oh, forgive me. My back only tolerates so much abuse. So, this is, you put in, I put in 2 small cans, the half-size cans of mushrooms. You can put in 2 like that, or you can put in, excuse me, 1 regular-sized can of mushroom stems and pieces. It doesn't really matter which way. I do not recommend for this using fresh mushrooms unless you're going to caramelize those first. Saute them up first. If you do that, then that's a little different than this. Just dump this out in here. Tamp this down like the other one. Make sure you get the spinach in there as much as possible. What you don't want is any spinach sticking up like this. What will end up happening is as it cooks, it'll wither and dry, and you end up picking out a hard piece right in the middle, which is not a whole lot of fun. Now, I'm going to do one more thing here with this one. Oh, just because I can. And we take and sprinkle, just to give it a little bit of an Italian flavor, some Parmesan Romano over the top of it. Because this one, remember, did not have any cheese to it. So I'm going to add some of this over the top. Alright, there we go. And last but not least, you know what's coming. You know it's going to be there. Salt and pepper. Little bit of pepper because Mama's not a pepperaholic. A little bit more salt because Daddy's a saltaholic. And we're going to do the same with the other one. So, going to cook them for about 50 minutes. Alright, ladies and germs. I'm just running this one by hand since it's easier to do it this way than to stick it up there. Here is the finished products, all ready to eat and go. So I'll show you it plated up here in just a little bit. But here's both of them. This one kind of overflowed a little bit. Again, we put a whole lot of stuff in on this one. So we'll show you plated up. And there you are, ladies and germs. Plated up and ready to go. That is your quiche for the evening.